So I was gonna do Moon Lodge last night, but I ran out of time. Things came too tight. But I just want to give you guys a brief Masonic lesson to take with you throughout the week, and I can use my vision on my camera to get my hoodie looking reasonable before I get out here in public and try to be the unprofessional self that I am. All right, this is how you know I'm not fishing. You never see a fisherman with fucking cords hanging off his motherfucking shit like this. You know why? Because they get hung on the block. Anyways, when you're studying masonry, when you're studying the invisible worlds, if you're studying witchcraft, if you're studying magic, if you're studying whatever the fuck you're studying, um, you're probably studying it to better yourself, to elevate yourself to a higher level, to a higher plane, to put yourself on a level other than others. There's people that join fraternities and they study masonry for the sake of networking, you know what I mean, and that is what it is. But the truth is that the people that are drawn towards the various brotherhoods are drawn to the sense of fraternity and the sense of brotherhood and the sense of loyalty and and the most important virtue that has to do with masonry, in my opinion, is constancy, and that is being the same when people come to you, having the same consistent types of responses. Um, and the first lesson that, as far as personal masonry, has to do with silencing yourself. You know, many of us, when we hear people say things that we don't necessarily agree with, we have a tendency to interject and to jump out there and say, I have a better answer than you. And there's many people out there that I have to admit over the years probably feel that way about me because of different stages that I've been, you know, in my development. You know, and there is a stage where you go through and you learn to recognize that. The more you learn to quiet yourself, you learn to recognize that in other people. You learn to recognize what stage they're at uh, in relationship to where you are now. When you start being quiet and letting other people speak, even if you don't agree with them, just let them keep going. Um, don't even listen to the words. I mean, listen to the words, interpret them. But what I have started, what you start to do is you start to observe people's tones. And when you start observing people's tones, you start to get to a point where that you could understand what someone in another language is saying based on their tones and their demeanor, and it's just part of the whole linguistic spectrum, you know. And so this week, if you want to follow the path of speculative masonry, if you feel called to an apprenticeship or a brotherhood, you feel called to a virtuous, chivalric, knight-related life, um, then I would advise you to start working on your own silence. That's something that I have to work on still to this day, and that I will probably always have to work on. Learning uh, when to shut the fuck up and let people speak. Some people, they don't need you to say anything back. They just need you to make them feel like you're listening to them. And the way you do that is by listening to them. You know, so every time you try to ascend to another level in masonry, to a higher degree, every time you try to ascend to a higher degree, you need to try to raise yourself on a virtue level. You need to raise your dignity up so that when you get to that level, you won't be corrupted. You know, so you won't turn into these super delegates, these peoples, these higher ups, these Bilderbergers, these Bohemian Grovers, these people that have got out there and made blasphemies out of those that would seek the truth. When you are seeking the higher worlds, you must improve yourself with virtue, or you're not going to make it. You'll get to a lesser world and be overwhelmed with the power that you've found, and you will lose yourself. So, this week, and I know this is It's not Monday night, it's Tuesday morning, but this week, let people disagree with you. You know, when they're speaking, they're saying things that you know better than. Just try to remember back as you're waiting for an appropriate time to continue. You be a conversationist, make people happy and joke with them and cheer them up. You know what I mean? And, Christ is supposed to bring the good news. He's supposed to bring stuff. Christ, the master mason, the master craftsman, the master carpenter, the builder of the universe, likes it when you bring the good news. And the good news is the stuff that makes people laugh. And too many times, even myself, too many times we fall into teacher syndrome, and we kind of cut our face off to spite our nose for the way that we want to correct everyone. For, oh my God, I must help this person and correct them. You don't have to correct anybody. You can allow them to be just the way they're allowing you to be, and and you can contribute to the conversation in helpful ways, without wrecking people's beliefs in the ways that we like to do sometimes. But it's not about that. It's not about everyone else right now. This week, it's not about everyone else. Sometimes you have to improve yourself so that you can be available to help others. You can't always just be others. And part of that is letting them have their mistakes sometimes. So I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you can deal with the rate at which these videos are coming, and I hope everyone is blessed.